New Zealand, a proud sporting nation, providing the world with beef, cheese, wine. New Zealand's greatest export, however, world-conquering athletes, from Ian Jones to Stacey Jones, Lydia Ko to Kai Kara France, Adams, Fox, Carrington, Lawson. The list goes on. Where did these people come from? How have they risen to glory when so many have crumbled? And what happens when they join the stage of two washed-up has-beens on a Tuesday night in Kingsland?
We still don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our year. It's State of Origin time, baby. Let's go.
Queensland.
This man needs to sit down and shut up. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proudly brought to you by our mates at Spates, our friends at the TAB, Scopic, Shaw, and of course, the mighty New Zealand Warriors. Make some noise one time for our sponsors. Thank you very much.
Mate, you look very dapper in that. Is that a new Spates hat?
It is a new Spates hat, actually. My girlfriend commented on it, and I haven't stopped wearing it since, actually. Take what I can get. Put it that way, Jello.
Mate, you look beautiful in blue, sir. We got a great night tonight. We've been planning this all week. This is the fun part. We get to bring it to you. This is my favourite part of the week. Hopefully, it's your favourite part of the week too. We got a great show, Mitch.
We do. State of Origin, brother. Of course, New South Wales got the game one chocolates. It could have been about 40 points if you ask me, but
I don't know, mate.
Look, Queensland, there's a scapegoat and his name's Daly Cherry Evans. I thought they dropped the wrong half, Jello, but we're going to find out tonight, aren't we?
Hey, plenty to unpack. We've got a long time till kickoff too, so we're going to have some fun tonight.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm our year welcome to this week's co-host. He's a North Coast stalwart, about 400 games of him and about fucking 5,000 points. Host of Surly Talk Sport and the One Take podcast for the New Zealand Warriors. Please make some noise for Ben Searle. Woo! Surly, thanks for joining us, brother. How you been?
Yeah, good. I want a refund on the $1.20 dog though. That's an absolute stitch up there, Jello. I reckon we go again 6 more.
Well, it's a free race, mate. No one paid to be in there. It's hard to get a refund on nothing.
Of course, the man who runs full-time's son gets the free round of drinks. It's not like he gets them anyway.
Is he even 18? He looks it.
He's pushing it. That's a borderline. That's a borderline question there. So, Surly, brother, starting off, we had the Super Rugby semi-finals, this last weekend. You've got a mate who plays for the Chiefs and Sean Stevenson. They got the job done 37-17 over the Brumbies. And D-Mac scored 22 points. The only man in the building, and I'm not surprised.
Probably one of the only Super Rugby fans in the building as well. So well done to you, mate. We got to hang tough these days. But yeah, a good win from the Chiefs. Damian McKenzie, the form he's in at the moment, you could chuck him in any team and he would give them a chance. His kicking game, the way he takes the ball to the line, his confidence is just contagious. And that Chiefs team now is humming, but they probably make the toughest trip in New Zealand rugby this weekend off the back of back-to-back finals losses.
Can you chuck D-Mac into an All Blacks jersey? Is he a shoo-in for that 10 spot?
I would, but there's been a fair bit of Bowden bias over the last couple of years, and we're incredibly lucky because Bowden Barrett is a very gifted footballer as well, who's done it on the world stage for 10 plus years. So we have great options, but I think you need to reward form, and over the duration of this season, Damian McKenzie has been the best first 5 in the country.
So they have to travel down to Christchurch where the Blues went last weekend and lost in a tough one. 31 games in a row the Crusaders have won at a home final, that must be going back to 1960. That is an outrageous record. But a lot to talk about in that game. We had Hoskins Satutu, who got sent off for arguably nothing.
Yeah, that's one rule in rugby, or there's many rules in rugby I don't like. That one especially, you couldn't get more accidental than that. We talk about mitigating factors, that was the definition of it. And unfortunately it resulted in one team being down to 14 men. I actually really enjoyed all the niggle in this game.
Really, yeah. I don't know how this is a send-off.
Yeah, bizarre.
We call that the matador where I'm from. I don't think I don't think there's anything in it, and I think that's why a lot of people are turning off the union and putting on the league.
Well, straight away it reminds me of the All Blacks World Cup final. You know,
Sam Cane.
like the biggest stage, the biggest moment. Everybody's watching, and then you got the All Blacks captain sitting on the bench, sitting on the sidelines.
And I believe there was another contentious penalty that involved Hoskins Tutu.
Well, this one changed the game for me because it's 14-all at this. In the blue.
Bring back the biff. Bring back the niggle. Come on.
That's not even a biff. That's not even a biff. That's just a push in the back. That's play on. As a first five, that's what I make my living off, and then I run away about here and let the big boys sort it out, you know?
Well, when people getting sent off for pushing, it's it's hard not to prefer to watch the league.
So we've got a proper send-off offence. This, our poor man from the One New Zealand Warriors, Tane Tuopiki, look at this dog shot. Okay, so let me paint the picture here. So the Warriors are up by 22 points, and this is literally the last play of the game. This bloke comes out 3 off, charges the line, shoulders him in the head, absolute dog shot, and that is a send-off.
Yeah, and I think the toughest thing to swallow is, of course, with Kurt Cabral in Origin tonight, not playing this weekend, Tane was effectively a chance at playing first grade, and he gets robbed of that opportunity due to this tackle late in the game. So that's probably the toughest pill to swallow for Tane personally as well.
Yeah, I think there's a slow motion view of the replay coming up here, but it is bad timing because Ali Leatawa, he's just been ruled out with an ankle injury, and Rocco as well. So there's a slow-mo version.
Oh my days. Oh my days. Maybe not bring back the biff and the niggle like I was just saying. That is absolutely outrageous. But yeah, no, I agree, Surly. Look, he's been on the fringe of first grade and he's been playing some great footy. The only reason he's arguably not in the team is because everyone else is performing at such a high level.
Yeah, it's a great problem to have, isn't it, when you've got so much depth in your club that quality players can't crack the first grade, and I think it's reflective of New South Wales Cup side winning 9 in a row.
Amen.
Amen, that the top side sitting in
13
third.
and 1, I believe.
They've got a
13 and
6-point
1.
gap between themselves and second place.
It's crazy, and this is what we've wanted as Warriors fans for so long, and now it's right in front of our eyes. So enjoy it, because I think we're going to go on a nice elongated run here. So enjoy these years while you can.
100%. Amen. Make some noise for that. Let's go. Let's go.
That's it.
Oh, golf claps it is for the Warriors Premiership, apparently, with the Our audience. Never mind.
See, those are rugby fans that have converted over.
Clearly,
That's how
we can tell.
clap at Eden Park when the All Blacks score.
They bring the clapping game.
Here for the origin of state, I believe. So moving on, we had Liam Lawson, who's had a bit of a tough run. He practiced
I'm
well.
going to
Look at the
dress
shades
up
on the
like
man.
this next show. Before the season's done, I'm going to dress like this for one show.
I think his girlfriend needs to step up on the fashion department there, but otherwise it's been a tough year for Liam. So he practiced well. He finished inside the top 10 at the Canadian Grand Prix. Didn't qualify well near the back of the grid. And the race was a DNF again, unfortunately for Liam. Just starting to find his form. Got his first points at Monaco a couple of weeks back. Drove a really good race in Spain, and then we're back to struggle streak.
It's been tough for him. You got to feel for him too. What a pressure cooker of an environment, and it's one of those ones where the noise outside is almost bigger than inside. Every race where you don't score points, you're facing the cut. The McLaren lads, that was a good watch as well. Lando and Oscar clipping each other, Lando having to apologise. I feel like Drive to Survive has been the greatest thing ever for F1.
It definitely has. And I believe, Jello, that we have some pictures of Liam Lawson on the grid.
Yeah, so this is for the people that missed the Canadian Grand Prix. This is a starting spot for Liam. You can't see him on that one. Maybe zoom out. Zoom out. Is there another one?
No, he's not there either.
No, sorry, zoom out again. No, I can't see him. Can
I
you zoom
can't
out?
see him.
Where is he? Zoom out, please. So there's Montreal, the whole of Montreal, Canada. Can you zoom out one more time? There he is. He's in Alaska. He just had to start a little bit further back due to penalties and stuff, but been a rocky road.
And still
for him.
beating Yuki Tsunoda, I believe, which is unbelievable.
That's what it's all about.
Unbelievable. So, fellas, our best golfer in quite a while, Ryan Fox. He won the Canadian Open on the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. A huge, huge victory. His second on the PGA Tour ever, and his second in a month.
Yeah, not bad. I think he banked almost $3 million as well.
Not bad.
Made it 5 or so million this year, and he's just the nicest bloke in the world. The best bloke to talk to. Would rather be a pro fisherman than a golfer. He's just a true blue Kiwi lad, and the fact that he's really good at golf seems to amaze him as well. And I love watching him play because he doesn't muck around. He steps up, he hits the ball. None of this 5 minutes to take every shot. He just backs his ability and he goes about his work, and it's reaping rewards for him at the moment. Top 20 finish in the US Open as well, in an incredibly tough course. So well done to him.
Yeah, 100%.
So I was just going to say, it was pretty cool hitting into that playoff round which he was in.
4 holes.
Four holes,
playoff
yeah,
holes.
4 holes it was his split. Actually, I think we got some footage of the final hole there, the 4th hole.
So yeah, this is the 4th hole.
Have you seen the state of this? The state of this golf course?
This is a shot.
It's got the rough. The rough is about 30 centimeters high. But like you said, Sully, he just steps up, whacks the ball. So he put the 9 back in, put out the 3 for this one.
Absolute doozy, and this is to win at the Canadian Open, a huge tournament actually. I play it on 2K25 all the time.
Yeah, old two-putt Shakur here taps it in for the win. I probably would have missed that. Forced another playoff hole.
I know, it's pretty special. So you have a look at that. Oh, look at that prize
not a
purse.
bad
Thank
payday.
you.
That's USD as well. The exchange rate's pretty handy at the moment.
We're in the wrong sport here, boys. What are we doing?
Yeah, I know. It looks like Anthony Galling's Warriors salary from 2019, that one.
Well, the comments that came off that the US Open, which he's just competed on this weekend. Not sure if you've seen this. This was a shot of the guys that mow the lawns down there. Have you seen this one? So these are the lawnmowers. And straight away, I'm thinking business idea. We got some business people in the back of the room. I'm thinking we just team up, we get the crew, and we just hit every street in Auckland.
Surely one bloke could do that.
I don't know if they've heard of the, it's a crazy advancement in technology. It's called a ride-on mower. And I believe that we could save ourselves a bit of labour costs here.
I don't know, because if you're going in a straight line, surely the 4th mower in the row isn't doing anything. It's been cut.
Look at the technique there. It's like when the wife says, if you mow the lawns, you can go on a bender. So you ring up the boys, and you say, look, boys, this is a 15-man job. Get round here. The quicker we do it, the sooner we leave.
Look at the urgency of the man, too, getting around.
That's too good. So moving on, fellas, we had our 2 netball teams up here in Auckland. We had the Northern Stars, who are having a bit of a tough start to the season. They went down 62-46 to the Southern Steel, and the Northern Mystics got the job done 40-38. But look, our Stars, we love the Stars here at our year, but they're having a little bit of a tough go at it.
We might have to start loving the Mystics, but I don't know.
I'm not a floppy sort of guy. It's not.
Whoa.
Pause.
Whoa.
Moving on. So Nico Porteous, fellas, our most decorated winter athlete, had announced his retirement, I believe, today. He's won World Championship medals, he's won Olympic medals, he's won X Games gold medals. He is probably going to go down at 23, retiring at 23, as one of our best ever.
Yeah, I had the privilege of speaking to him today as well. He was doing a bit of a media tour, came into MediaWorks. And what a guy. For 23 years old, he's so mature. And like you said, a bronze at 16, a gold at 20. He basically just said he's achieved everything he's wanted to achieve. And now, in the crazy time we live in, he thinks he can make more money skiing, filming it, making content, and uploading it to YouTube and social media than he can competing on the world stage. So
that's why me and Jello are sit here right in these seats, actually.
I noticed all the cameras, eh? One can only hope.
Yeah, so I had to actually hang up the rugby league boots, believe it or not, recently. Camo at the back, he really wanted to sign me to a 4-year extension, but it wasn't to be. It wasn't to be. So moving on, speaking of, I can't say that. Speaking of teams not doing so well, Auckland City FC, shit, that is tough to look at.
It's a tough day at the office.
Hey, so as an Arsenal fan, I was very happy to see that Harry Kane didn't score a single goal. But other than that, it was pretty tough viewing.
10-0, that's only 2 tries though. They can peg that back. I do see AFC actually gained 27,000 followers on TikTok because everyone went to TikTok to spray them for losing 10-0. And it wasn't even them, so they got caught up in a bit of a drive-by.
I bet the social media man had a field day with those comments saying, we're technically premiers.
Well, I think the Google search was trending too. Where the fuck is Auckland?
Little bit embarrassing for us on the global football stage there, but hey, look, moving on.
Before we move on, actually, let's have a look at the stats. So they banged in 10 goals, but look at that, 31 shots to 1.
It's just disappointing we didn't make that one shot count, you know. You got to put that in the net. You really do. It was on target as well.
There's a bit of 8 Mile about that.
Yeah,
One shot,
there
one
is.
opportunity.
Hey, and shout out to Connor Tracy, the keeper for Auckland City. He had a howler, but it technically could have been 17-1.
Isn't that the Bulldogs fullback? Connor Tracy?
No, it literally
Like
is
great code.
literally is the keeper for Auckland City as well. At least it's Connor.
Man.
So, fellas, Stephen Adams, our greatest ever basketball export this week, signed a $67 million contract for 3 years.
Yeah, that's elite. And actually what he did at Houston this year was unreal as well. Like, because the breakdown of the minutes on the court when he's on, the plus minus was massive. So it justified a contract like that. I was hoping he would go to the Lakers and in free agency and link up with my guy LeBron, and then there'll be another excuse to drag the missile over to LA to go watch Stephen Adams debut for the Lakers. But well done to him. Another one of these guys like Ryan Fox, who just seems like one of the best blokes in the world.
He
And
does.
he's making all this money now. You got to love it.
Yeah, you do love it, mate. And he had such a presence in that finals for Houston. Every time he came on, especially in that Golden State series, it's just the aura that he has inside the key. Like, they didn't want to come near him. They wanted to shoot outside when he's there. He's bashing everybody for rebounds. And I love the way he's been in the league for how many years now? About a decade, close to a decade. The way he represents our country just makes me so proud to be a Kiwi.
And for a big fella, it's all about the little things for him, eh? He's just a pest on court. Everyone hates to play against him because of just how he plays, but you try and get under his skin and he'll give you absolutely nothing. He's a classic Kiwi bloke.
Oh, you can tell he grew up on a diet of like rugby and contact sports, right? Because all those scenes he sets, guys run into them and they go flying out of them as well. He's probably someone in the league that will be right up there in terms of players you wouldn't want to mess with either. Like, you see a bit of a push and shove, as soon as the big Kiwi comes in the mix, everyone just disperses.
Well, it's amazing how much contact there is for a non-contact sport. You wonder why they're wearing mouth guards.
100%. So, Jello, I believe you got our freak of the week.
I do, mate. So this show's all about shining a light on people that are a little less known to the world. Our freak of the week, he's one of our own, Mr. Bo Wills, the specimen of a man. So he competed at the
I told
High
you to
Rocks.
not put that photo up of me.
The High Rocks World Championships that were over the weekend in Chicago. In the doubles, he competed with a lad from Italy. They finished number 4 in the world.
Pretty impressive.
Very impressive. And in the solo men's in the elite division, he finished 9th. So we got a top 10 athlete in the High Rock Games.
Do you reckon he's running like a tidy Veet operation, or do you think he was just genetically born with no body hair?
I'd say that's a pre-High Rocks visit to the clinician there. Don't ask me how I know that, because I don't have any inside word there.
I'd say it's been sweated off, mate, but
Hey,
he's
eyes
a man,
up.
He's a man we want to get on the show. I was going to show the highlights of the High Rocks contest, but I want to get him in the building. I want him to show you what they do, because it's pretty crazy. So, down the camera, Bo Wills, if you're watching this, you're coming on our show, mate. We'll talk this week.
Yeah, give us a couple workout tips too while you're at it, brother. So, coming up next, Ethan, roll that thing. So massive news today, ladies and gentlemen. Harvey Norman has just joined. Jello's swearing at me. Harvey Norman have just announced a massive sponsorship with the Warriors. So to celebrate and have a wee chat about it, we're going to bring up Head of Partnerships from Harvey Norman, Sam Waters, and the great man, CEO of the One New Zealand Warriors, Cam George. So please make some noise for them. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Cam George up here and Sam Waters. Thank you so much for joining us. So, massive news today, guys. Harvey Norman has just partnered up with the One New Zealand.
That's the biggest announcement. There's no state of origin on at the moment, is there? 3 years. 3 years. Harvey Norman
Incredible.
committing to the One New Zealand Warriors. supporting the NRLW girls. So pumped, super excited.
Round of applause for that. So Mitch was asking me before the show, he said, is it because the Warriors are now in the top 4 that you jump on board?
If I can tell a little bit of a backstory where it did come from. So we had a lunch with 24 of the NRLW girls a few weeks ago with Katie Page, our CEO, and Andrew Abdo. And it was in that lunch and that session we had with the girls that 2 of the Warriors girls, Harada and Emily, spoke really, really passionately around the brands, the fans, their football, and the fact that there was a lack of pathways for the young girls, and we want to keep the New Zealand girls here playing footy in New Zealand. So from that, a few weeks later, we announced a partnership. Pretty exciting.
Incredible. So Camo, from the Warriors side, what does this mean to the club? Yeah, sorry if you could hear that underneath all the fuzz. So what does this mean for the Warriors, Camo, to have a partner like Harvey Norman on board for the NRLW?
Yeah, it's an absolute privilege to have a quality partnership with Harvey Norman. Look, their values as a company and as people is so, it's demonstrated right across sport in Australia and New Zealand, and the women's game's going to benefit so greatly from this. The way in which they want to grow the sport, they want to be a part of the sport, they want to be a part of the future's success is a real benefit to us as a footy club. And we couldn't be any more pleased than what we are now. So very excited to have Sam here tonight and her team here today to announce it.
Amazing. So I believe we have an old video of some old Harvey Norman ads, and I'm glad to see that we've stepped it up with the times.
Go Harvey, you're on the go Harvey, go Harvey, go Harvey, go Harvey Norman.
Look at this bargain. $500 for some software. And that was that's not a knock on Harvey Norman, of course.
I think that's a shot at Bill Gates. Bloody hell.
That's a shot at Bill Gates. There's a reason he was so rich.
Harvey Norman, go!
So Sam,
That brings back some nostalgia. We've come a long way, haven't we?
Pretty embarrassed, but and that's an Australian ad. We've got 45 stores over in New Zealand, and all of our fans, our stores, the community are fully getting behind this partnership. So yeah, it's a lot cheaper now to get your Microsoft. So.
it definitely is. So as a company, Harvey Norman, can you see the growth of rugby league? You know, can you feel something building here in New Zealand?
Yeah, I think this sort of the last year, it's the first time I've seen the NRLW just held their own. You know, we're selling out stadiums. Our broadcast numbers for over the Women's State of Origin was over 2 million. And I think our first, we broke records up in Suncorp at 26,000 watching the women's game. So I have no doubt over here in New Zealand, we're going to sell out the stadiums here watching the girls, hands down.
100%. And Camo, for the Warriors side, how was it to be putting together a team from scratch again?
Yeah, it's exciting, but it's not hard in New Zealand because the women's game here is growing. And we've got so many passionate girls, and to give you an example of where they're at, and it's how difficult it is over here in New Zealand, is we couldn't even secure a trial with another NRLW team. So last night, the girls aimed up against the Jersey Flegg team. And they put shoulder to shoulder with the boys, and they went at them. And after the first tackle, they went, fuck this, we're going, and we're going to put it to the boys. And they absolutely annihilated them. So, yeah.
Wow.
So in the absence of trials, they're taking on the guys at the moment, which is great.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can do on the field. It's an exciting time. You know, New Zealand Sevens, the New Zealand Women's Sevens have been incredible in the union side of things, and I think it's about time we get ourselves 4 premierships this year.
Amen to that. And, you know, just speaking to the talent of girls here in New Zealand, I spent some time commentating the Auckland Rugby League stuff, the domestic competition. There is so much talent there. You're absolutely right. I know underneath Cam's turtleneck, he's got a Queensland jersey on. Sam, before we let you go, who are you backing tonight?
Hold on. Hang on. I borrowed this off Cappy, Andrew McFadden. I was driving here and I spilt something on my shirt today. So I said, Cappy, give me a shirt. So he gave me his turtleneck. And I'm very proud to say I gave it Queensland tonight because of KB. But to have Jacob Lillyman here, who you're about to hear from, mate, he's one of the best legends of not only Queensland but of New Zealand and rugby league. So, yeah, it's all Queensland tonight.
when the ball comes up, I am going to change my shirt. I don't want to get into any rumbles with the great man. But ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for Cam George and Sam Waters. Thank you for joining us.
All right, so if you're new to our year, what we like to do is we like to change it up, we like to mix it up, we like to shine a light on our people, and this guy is one of Auckland's own. I'd like to introduce comedian Tony Lyle.
Oh, hell yeah, can I just say this is a dream gig for me. This is how you know you've made it. Doing a room full of people who simply do not give a fuck. This is good. This is just how I dreamed it, a large group of men with their back to me. Hell yeah, brother. That is what I like to see. People actively on their phones. Hell yeah, brother. This is the shit. This is why we get out of bed as a comedian, to get paid in a single burger from the bar. Hell yeah, brother. Although I did hear the head Harvey Norman was here, so if you wouldn't mind hooking me up at TV, that would be fucking tip top. I would appreciate some of that action, and feel free to give me some of your kit afterwards. You are kit tip. Fucking my man, you've come straight from Sterling Sports. Look at you. This morning you woke up, you're like, who should I support today? Better get this, the cap, the scarf, the jersey. They didn't have a puffer jacket you could have worn as well. Also, I've always wondered what it'd be like to do a room to only fucking dudes, and this is it. There is, oh no, there's one right here. Fuck, give it up for everyone. This is lovely. I can see a few. This is awesome. It's also nice, a lot of men wearing hats in here, which you know what that means? A lot of bald fuckers out there. Hiding their heads, my man down here. Don't, yeah, you big bald fuck. I know a bald man wearing a hat at night time when I see one, because I've seen myself in the mirror so many times at night time. There's no UV rays in here, man. What are you doing? This is exciting though. I love my rugby league. I recently did go over to Las Vegas, which was a long way to go to watch the Warriors lose, but it was exciting. Hey, I fucking went, all right? It was a long... Did I pay for my flights? No, but we don't need to get into that. We don't need to worry about that. America is crazy. So different. Are there any Americans in the house tonight? Make some noise? None? Okay, good. Let's get them. No, I'm kidding around. Americans, they are so different to us. Like, they're so much more aggressive. I find Americans very confrontational. And I find that quite confronting, actually. Like, if you were to, like, we're way more chilled out, apart from you people who seem massively shit-faced. But normally, Kiwis are quite chilled out, and Americans are on the forefront. Like, if you said something mean to a New Zealander, like if you were like, hey man, you're short, or something like that, the New Zealander would be like, oh man, I don't think that's really nice or fair, but well, that's your opinion, that's fine, you're entitled to it. But if you called an American short, that person would literally go on to do the Super Bowl halftime show and call the other person a pedophile. So it's just a big difference. Just trying to see who's Team Drake and who's Team Kendrick in the crowd tonight. Evidently most of you are Team Who Gives a Fuck, which is fair. I've never had a large-scale beef in my life. I recently did, though. I got into a beef with the entire island of Waiheke. I know it's a tough beef to have. I posted a video online basically saying how Waiheke is an expensive place to get to, and once you're there, it is also expensive. And I thought that's pretty funny. Put that up on Instagram. Went pretty well. Did pretty good numbers. Feel free to give me a follow after the show and abuse me there. But it went on Facebook, which I didn't know, and it went viral on Waiheke on Facebook. And they were not a fan of Big T-Bone. They did not love my content, weren't interested in what I had to say. They hated me. And a mate who lives there messaged me and goes, hey bro, I think you're banned from the island of Waiheke. And I was like, oh shit, what's going on? And then he texts me again and goes, hey man, I think you're banned from the Mad Butchers. And I was like, what is going on? He said, yeah, the Mad Butcher just shared your video and called you a piece of shit. And I was like, what's going on? So I jumped onto Facebook and I searched the Mad Butcher, and I didn't find him calling me a piece of shit at all. I don't think that happened. But I did find the Mad Butcher's Facebook page, which is the single greatest thing of all time. Make some noise if you've seen the Mad Butcher's Facebook page. It is a work of art. Every day we just get to see what the Mad Butcher had for breakfast. And it is fucking astonishing. He is laying low the biggest bowl of beans you will ever see in your life. Not a piece of bread to be seen. One day he was like, light breakfast today, and he had 6 hard-boiled eggs. The one that I can't stop thinking about, I wake up in the middle of the night thinking about this breakfast, is one morning for breakfast, he had 4 saveloys. Guys, how are you not going crazy? 4 saveloys? Saveloy, no bread? I'm not talking Cheerios you get from the butcher when you take your kids. I'm talking full-size saveloy. Not the tiny Cheerio you get at a kid's party. By the way, those Cheerios rule. If you go to a kid's party, I love going to my kid's party, you get the Cheerios. I like to get the fairy bread. You put the saveloy in the cherry bread, and then you have a nice little like Pride Parade sausage sizzle. It's great. It's beautiful stuff. All right, well, you guys rule. This has been fun and a hell of an experience up in New South Wales. How are you, brother? See you later. Bye.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to roll the tape for our next guest before we get him up here. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big welcome to the great man, the Bull, Jacob Lillyman.
Up the wires. Up the wires. Up the wires.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jacob Lillyman, the Bull. How does a man obtain a nickname such as the Bull?
Yeah, pretty simple that one, mate. It's where I come from, back in North Queensland. You know, instead of bro or mate, we call each other Bull. How you going, Bull? And obviously everyone started saying that back to me, so yeah, definitely stuck.
Can I just say, that's fucking awesome, by the way. I might start applying that to me and my mates. G'day, Bull, how are you, mate? Yeah, not bad, Bull. That's fucking sick.
Well, we already call you Bull, but it's short for bullshit.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I walked into that one, didn't I? Fuck.
Mate, tell us about where are you from?
From Richmond in northwest Queensland, so about 5 hours. There we go.
Does that look familiar?
Oh, baby.
My old man helped build that lake.
Shit, yeah.
But yeah, it's thriving metropolis, as you can see. So northwest Queensland, outback Queensland.
What's the population there?
Looks about 50, I'd say, tops.
Were there. About 800, to be honest. Yeah. Photo doesn't do it justice.
Well, we had Wade Egan on the show, and he's from quite a small town. But his town, Lithgow, yeah. His town had a library. He's got a library?
Nah, I don't think so.
Nah, Bull.
Hey, you do have this though. What's this thing? When I googled the photos for Richmond, I found this. Was it like a platypus-looking thing? What is that? I couldn't find a photo of Richmond without this in the background.
So yeah, Richmond's world famous for its dinosaur fossils. So that one there is called the Kronosaurus. I think, from memory, biggest marine dinosaur ever found. I don't know, but anyway, yeah, we'll run with that. But yeah, Kronosaurus. Lots of fossils out there. People go up there, do a bit of fossicking, and have a drink at my mother's pub. So yeah.
That wasn't found in the lake, the man-made lake, was it?
No, you do get the odd freshwater croc, but yeah, nothing that big.
So, Bull, it's sticking, bro. I'm sticking with it. So, brother, you started off at the North Queensland Cowboys, but through school you made the Australian Schoolboys, and you had an ACL injury, I believe, early on. And tell us about, firstly, that Australian Schoolboys experience, being in that environment, but secondly, having to come back from such a big setback so early on.
Yeah, so that was tough. I remember it was my first year. I'd actually just been signed with the Cowboys, on a scholarship or whatever. I was at Kerwin High in Townsville. I was playing a junior rep game, like under 17s in Mackay for North Queensland, I think it was, against whoever. And did my knee, ACL, and back then that was pretty major, at a young age, 17 years old. Had to have a full knee reconstruction. Definitely heard a lot of people say that, I was finished, that was it, the career was over, but, worked really hard on my rehab, in the gym and whatnot. Came back the next year, that was my last year of school, and, it was lucky enough to go through and make the Aussie Schoolboys and do a tour of Great Britain and, England and France, so it was good.
Incredible, bro.
That's a wicked experience. Is rugby league in your family? What do your parents do?
Yeah, so the old man, he was, decently handy, I guess. He was from obviously up north there, and he made the North Queensland side back in the day where, players from the region didn't go on to. There was no NRL competition, so. A lot of those players sort of stayed in their regions and played, and he played with the likes of, if there's any Aussies here, the great Vern Daisy, and he played a little bit at the North Devils in Brisbane. There we go. So I guess there's a bit of league in the family there. So, but yeah.
So you went on to play 256 first grade games. One season at the Knights, a lot here at the Warriors, and obviously the Cowboys too. I put this stat through ChatGPT. You scored 9 tries in your career, and I believe that...
Sure, I thought it was like 20-something, but anyway. Yeah.
So that is the lowest try-scoring ratio for any player to have ever played 200-plus games in the NRL. 0.03 a game.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Next question.
So look, obviously, Bull, you had a big State of Origin career as well, starting in 06 all the way to, was it 2014, was it?
2017, I think.
2017. So you played 14 Origins for Queensland, and as a man growing up in North Queensland, what does it mean to put on that maroon jumper?
Oh, cheers, mate. Thank you. So I guess, how would you explain it? So, for a kid growing up in Queensland, like Origin was like the pinnacle of life. Like there was nothing further than that. You know what I mean? We grew up, watching, the King, Wally Lewis, Big Mal, Alfie, all those, but like every year when Origin came around, it was just like better than Christmas. Like it was just, we got excited weeks out. We'd be like at school, we'd be mucking around. So yeah, it was such a huge occasion out there. So I guess to be able to come through and eventually put that maroon jersey on was just an absolute dream come true. So massive as a kid. To be able to achieve that.
So you mentioned some of those greats that you grew up watching, like Wally Lewis and Mal Meninga, etc., etc. You played with quite a few legends yourself, Darren Lockyer's of the world, Jonathan Thurston's, Billy Slater's. Tell us about that era of Queensland Origin and how dominant they are, and some of those great players that you played with also.
Yeah, well, it was a little bit surreal because some of those names you mentioned, Thurston, Smith, Slater, Cronk, Lockyer. Just you could say some of the best rugby league minds, to ever play the game, and the best players to ever play the game. So, it was pretty surreal. I mean, just freakish players. Like I would say probably the top dog of them all, the player that everyone, even like JT and whatnot. I know Darren Lockyer had a very high opinion of him, was Cameron Smith. He was just so smart, so clever, so switched on. He really held the room whenever he spoke. Just a great bloke on top of all that as well.
Mate, tell us about the moment. Playing for Queensland is such a big deal. Tell us about the moment where you find out that you're going to be playing for Queensland.
Yeah, that was another surreal moment. I think at the time I'd only played maybe 22 games, 22 NRL games. Yeah. I can remember the assistant coach of the Cowboys at the time, Neil Henry. I'd just come back from injury, a broken hand, and he sort of mentioned to me after that game, he said, look, just keep your phone handy, there's a few injuries, blah, 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 you might get a phone call. And I was like, you serious? I don't know about that. And yeah, sure enough, I think it was Tony Carroll, got ruled out with injury, and got the phone call, and yeah, it was just mind-blowing. Couldn't believe it. It obviously a dream come true, and to go into camp, I remember, they roomed me with big petrol, 70 cents a litre, and he was just like a big brother. He just put the big arm around me and said, just looked after me, and that my first game in 2006 was game 2, which was the start of the massive run. So it was good to play a very small part in that.
Mate, I wanted to actually take a little walk down memory lane because I think it wasn't your first season with the Cowboys, but it was your first taste of finals football. All right, so we're going to have a look at the night you played the semi-final against
Sydney,
the Melbourne
the
Storm.
For tonight's two out-of-town combatants, the North
Keep
Queensland
your eye on
Cowboys
some of the names that you
Melbourne
see
Storm.
popping up on these
This
team
is their
lists.
lineup. At fullback, an 18-year-old who has had an influence on the finals already. Got the match winner against Brisbane last week. His name is Greg Inglis. Outstanding on the wing 7 days ago, Matt Guy and Jake Webster. Contrasting centre styles but equally effective, Stephen Bell will partner Matt King, whilst there is an abundance of class in the halves with Scott Hill at 5'8". In the absence of Robbie Kearns, Matt Orford will skipper the side at the scrum base. Very aggressive and mobile back row with Dallas Johnson, over 50 tackles last weekend. Next to his name, David Kidwell and Glenn Turner, the second rowers. Ian Donnelly comes into the front row in jersey 20. Cameron Smith and Brett White, they're interchanged this evening. Cooper Cronk and Antonio Kafusi. Ryan Hoffman and Alex Chan. They are coached by Craig Bellamy.
Yeah, the rival coaches tonight are two very good ones. Craig Bellamy, one of the up-and-comers in the NRL, and Graham Murray, he's a bit of a veteran, been in semi-finals, plenty of grand finals as well, and pretty good winning ratios there for them. Head-to-head 2-all, so one will go ahead tonight.
Righto, boys, let's have a look at this Cowboys lineup. As Fatty said, they're pretty poor last week. Can they improve? At fullback, the brilliant Matty Bowen on the wings. We've got a lot of strike in Ty Williams and Matty Singh. The centres are very experienced and they're a good defensive pairing. They'll need to be good tonight. Josh Henne and Paul Bowman. The halves have been reshuffled. Let's see how they operate. Justin Smith's going to go to 5'8". Jonathan Thurston is going to go to halfback. I think that signals they're going to play a power game. The back row's a good one. Travis Norton, who is captain. The rugged Steve Bluey Southern and Luke O'Donnell, who'll be a handful out in the left with the ball. Up front, we've got Big Paul Rahehi, the creative Aaron Pay out at dummy half, and Shane Tronk. Let's check out the bench. Brett Furman, he moves back to the bench. Let's see how he's going to come off the bench and make an impact. David Fayumu, Jacob Lilliman, and Mitchell Sargent. As we said before, the coach is Graham Murray.
Stadium Sydney, the battleground for tonight.
Little Bubba there. Holy. How old are you there?
20 odd, I think. Yeah, maybe something like that, 20.
So yourself, I think Greg Inglis was 18 there. Cameron Smith, are you guys similar age? He's older.
Yeah, a little bit older, but yeah, roughly around the same era, yeah.
So it's quite funny. So that's like the start of Melbourne, because I think after Scotty Hill left, that was when GI went to 6, and then Cooper Cronk comes along, and that that Melbourne team kicks off at the same time that Queensland team really starts to rise. Well, like, I didn't realise this, okay, so 2005, I start getting into footy for the first, like, you know, really watching it. That Cowboys team was my favourite team. Hands down. Like, I love the Warriors.
Matty Bowen, what a player.
Matty Bowen, he was my hero. I had the poster up on the wall. I think it was later in his career, he left the Cowboys, he came and played at Wigan. Yeah, so him coming to play fullback, I was like, man, I was gobsmacked. Like, it was so cool. I didn't realise till I was doing the research on, you know, where you started. I didn't even realise you were in that team. So your career has spanned from kind of like some legends leaving the game to some legends joining the game. And I think the whole game over that time has changed so much from start to finish.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, when I came in, like my first grade debut was in 2003. Yeah, I made my debut against Newcastle Knights, who were absolutely red hot at the time. I actually talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but you know, the game started, whatever, Joey Johns just had it on an absolute string. So I got on just before half time in that game, and it was 48-0.
Holy shit! Oh.
And the Peter Parr, the guy that was, he was on the sideline. He goes, "Try and make a difference, Bull."
Good luck.
Anyway, they ended up 60 something.
I think I'm going to say 48-6.
I honestly thought it was going to be like a record score. I thought they were going to put 100 on us. So I was just like, oh, and this is my debut.
So you were a baby back then, but speaking of babies, we came across a crazy story. So I believe your was it your firstborn child was born mid-air in a flight. Do we have that, Ethan? So talk, because I read the article. I read the article and I was like, this is absolute insanity. Take us through that experience.
Yeah, so the day before the missus started having contractions or whatever, so we're over on Waiheke. So come over, you know, they said, oh, you know, it could be another couple of days yet. I was like, yeah, right. And they said, you can stay here or just go home. Oh, yeah, we'll go home. Back over to Waiheke, and the next day they, like, contractions really started, like, you know, being a bit more intense. I'm like, let's go. You know, I don't want this. I don't want to be born on the ferry or anything. So he said, oh no, this could go on for ages, and then it was 0 to 100, and then the midwife was saying, we got to get to the ferry. And I was like, we're not jumping on the ferry. And yeah, probably should have just had him over there, but yeah, she called the bloody, someone did, the Westpac rescue helicopter, and yeah, in they came, and they just come from another job or whatever, and they said, oh, sorry mate, you can't come, too many people or whatever. So yeah, right, they take off, and we race to the ferry terminal, and the midwife gets a call and said, oh, he was born about 5 minutes from Waiheke in the helicopter. So yeah, there's that as well.
That's a cool story, man. You would have, did they charge you a third ticket if you're born on the ferry? Do you have to pay when you get off?
I think I did dip into the pocket there, but yeah, anyway.
I have to. I don't know if this is the same kid, and I don't know if this is your baby, but there's a photo of Oprah Winfrey, of all people. Is that your baby?
Yeah, correct. That is.
What's going on here?
With my sister Oprah. No, yeah, Auntie Oprah. Auntie Oprah
from Richmond.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that was, yeah. I think she was visiting the Mrs. Marae up in Auckland here, and yeah, she was there, and they all got a photo opportunity, and the Mrs. walked up and handed the baby to her, and so yeah, there's another one.
Is this the same baby?
No, that's the oldest. That's the oldest girl. That one. Yeah,
I was going
she
to
was
say,
the
if that's the
first.
same, baby, that's a wild week. You're born in a helicopter. You're getting held by Oprah. If I go to the next slide, probably be on a roller coaster at Disneyland or something like that. Mate, that's pretty cool. Look, I've talked about how much the game has changed since you've been playing, and there's a highlight here from the State of Origin. I can't remember what year this was. This might have been your final season actually. A little bit of Origin biff with our mate Bull.
I think if there's going to be a clenched fist to actually find its target, this might be it from Tamo.
Got Tamo having a swing on the ground.
Having a swing.
Oh, an uppercut swing.
There's the snippy.
And then,
What's this?
The roundhouse.
How's the fist? The fist is clenched. What's it hit? Another look.
James Tamo, one of our own.
Got him with the forearm. Let's have a listen.
Yep. You're on the report. Right. Why don't you go stay at Cameron?
So he stays on the field. That's just on report now.
Yeah, I mean, that's play on every day of the week.
And that's what I mean. This is how much the game has changed, because it used to be Origin was just a bashathon. The referee was put the card away, put the whistle away. What was the instructions when you go out for those games?
Yeah, well, I think it was after maybe it might have been 2013 where Gal unloaded on Nate Morris, and I think that was the end of the biff. I mean, I think it was after that they said, you throw a punch, you're off for 10. Obviously didn't apply in that game, but so it changed a lot after that. I think one of the biggest things that changed was halfbacks got a lot cheekier. But yeah, I mean, it was a tough game. They played in some tough Origins and been some good stinks and whatnot. But that's a thing of the past now. But hopefully the referee puts the whistle away tonight, because he blew the pee out of it in that first one.
Well, it helps when you can get out your own end. Let's put it that way. But Bull, mate. So a biff that comes to mind for me was Uncle Steve Price and Ben Cray. Were you playing in that series?
I might have. Oh shit! Don't know if I played that year. Might have been 18th man for one or two of the games. Yeah, but are you talking about where Lockie put the bomb up?
Yeah. Fuck, Stevie, mate. I remember it felt like my dad getting knocked out in front of me. It was a painful watch, that one. But look,
that was him and was Brett White, wasn't it?
Yes, it was Brett White, not Ben Cray. Ben Cray ran away like a scared little bitch.
Scared someone and then ran off. Hey mate, I was looking at earlier this year. I was reading Jonathan Thurston's book.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great read. Have you read the book?
Nah.
That's a great read, mate. Full of some awesome stories. There's a lot of Origin stuff in there, and he tells a story about how during the year, like you win Origin, it's a big occasion, but then everybody's got to go and back up. And so at the end of the year, they put it on for you boys. And when I say put it on, it's helicopter rides, it's, secret mansions. Mate, Tell us the juice. What's going on at these end of year Origin parties?
Yeah. So
maybe not all the juice, maybe just 80% of the juice.
Probably leave a few finer details out. But I think that was something that Mel brought in, because you win an Origin series, and exactly as you said, you got to back up 2 or 3 days later and play again. So although they certainly were still celebrated, you couldn't really do it in a way that justified that achievement. So Mel brought in these end of year celebrations where they'd pick a secret location on the Goldie or up on the sunny coast or somewhere, and we'd all meet and, we'd have, 2 or 3 days really celebrating the win. But they would just lay it on, as you said, like helicopter rides and boat, private bloody yacht things and all sorts of things. They would, some well-heeled Queensland supporters there would obviously come to the party, but those celebrations at the end of the year were unbelievable.
I heard they're compulsory too. You got to tell the missus, babe, Mel said it's compulsory. We don't have a choice. It's all part of it.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah, and good luck telling Big Mel the missus is stepping in. I'm not sure he would be too fond of that. So, Paul, moving on to tonight's matchup. We've obviously got a big game for the Queenslanders. If they want to make a deal of it, they've got to win tonight. So we've got some big matchups. We've got in the halves, we've got Luai and Cleary and against Munster and Dearden. Queensland have obviously made the choice to sack DCE. Tom Dearden steps into that 7 role. Look, you've played behind some great halves at origin level and at club level. Talk us through this matchup and how you see this being a key to the game.
I mean, it's massive. Massive call by Billy to tap Daly on the shoulder. I think that was a big call, but I think Billy knows what's best for Queensland. Big responsibility for Tommy Dearden. I'm certainly back him to stand up to the occasion. We saw him do it a couple of years ago. For Queensland, they brought him in and he was absolutely brilliant. But again, you're coming up against Cleary and the old teammates, Cleary and Luai. It's going to be a great battle. I mean, all these origins are such fantastic contests, and I'm sure Tommy and with Munster with the C next to his name, he's got a big job tonight. In his prime, Sam Burgess was an absolute fucking beast in the middle. Such a big unit, had a bit of footwork, had a pass, would absolutely fold you in half if he got the chance. Really hard to handle. So I think definitely say he's up there in his prime. Big Sammy.
Well, we got some giveaways actually. So it's time to play a game. Okay. It is the name game. We've got some giveaways from our friends at Players Sports, and we're going to need a volunteer. One from Queensland, one from New South Wales. Preferably somebody that knows their rugby league players.
Yeah, well, all right. We have our Queenslander, I believe. That was a look of a confident man. New South Wales? I reckon paper, scissors, rock.
We need Surly. Where's Surly? Where's Surly?
Surly, come on up, brother.
Ben Sir, you're needed on stage.
All right. Come on up, brother. What's your name, brother? Brad? Brett, nice to meet you, mate.
Hi, this side. Okay, I'm going over here.
Okay, so I'll explain the game. Okay, you sit over here, our beautiful volunteer. We'll get New South Wales on this side. We'll go right side of the border. Oh, you jump in here, my friend. Yeah, boys, you two up here. You're not hiding. She's going to need some backup for this one, okay?
Can I phone a friend?
These are your two friends over here. Okay. So this is the name game, okay? If you get stuck for names, we're here to back you up as best we can. But basically, we're going to get a first name from the crowd, and then it's back and forth. Who can name footy players? Until there's last man standing, okay? So I'm going to get a name from the crowd, a generic first name, something nice and simple to get us going.
James.
James is first. Our friends south of the border will let you go first.
Fisher Harris.
Tedesco.
Graham.
Tamo.
James Tamo.
Mr. Maloney.
All right, 1-0's the score. No, it's a warm-up. There's a warm-up. Don't count that one. 1-0, okay. We'll go 1-0. All right, you go find us a first name on this side.
All right. First name, preferably something generic.
Jack.
Jack is our name.
Bostock.
Jack Whiten.
Cogger.
DeBellin.
We'll go Jack Johns.
Mehoff.
Jack
I can't
Mehoff.
believe I...
All right.
We
That's
have
one
to
apiece.
get a point for that. That was good.
That's one apiece. Everybody knows Jack Meoff only played reserve grade. All right, we're going back to the pool of names. First name, sir?
Ben.
Ben. Well, it ain't Ben Sue.
Ben Cray.
Ben Walker.
Martelino.
Ben Hunt.
Barber.
Ben Murdoch Masilla.
Trebojevic.
Ben Hennon.
Tahuna.
Benny Eichen.
Ben Eichen, over to you.
Ben Teo.
Ben Ross.
Five.
Ben Doon and Phil McCracken.
I think Queensland take this one. Our next one was Benji Marshall if we ran out, but we'll take it.
Cheaters. Classic Queensland cheaters. So this next one, we did this last State of Origin where we put a bunch of players' names in these cups up here. We went over to you guys and we built a team. I'm not just saying this because I'm in a New South Wales jersey. If any of you were here, the Queensland team was absolutely fucking shite. It was barter card cup level. I don't know who put the names in the cup, but it was doing a severe disservice to Queensland. But tonight, we're doing it celebrity styles. So we've got a bunch of celebrities who sort of fit the athletic type of position here. We're going to go around to you and we're going to craft a team to see who would win out of New South Wales and Queensland. So, me and Jello, or should we get these fellas to do it?
We'll hit the floor. These guys can, you can just comment on the teams as they come up.
All right, brother. Pick us someone good.
You going first?
I'll go first. Who have we got?
All right, State of Origin, Hunger Games, celebrity mode.
At prop, we have Serena Williams.
Powerful, pound for pound, one of the strongest athletes in the world.
Genuinely an absolute great of athletics.
And her dad, Will Smith, if you haven't seen the movie, great actor.
All right, Queensland, front row. We need some power.
Oprah Winfrey.
Auntie Oprah, yes!
There she is.
What a clash, head to head.
As she is from Richmond, as we discussed before, so keeping it in-house there. All right, what do we got here? Our hooker for New South Wales. Got Simone Biles. Simone Biles, actually a really good fit. Very athletic. I'd like those carries out of acting half.
Yeah.
All right, Queensland coming straight back at you. At number 9.
Tom Hardy.
Boom! We got Bane.
I'd say Queensland have won the first two two names here. All right, let's see what we got here. All right. Our second rower for New South Wales, Ronda Rousey. Let's hope Holly Holmes not playing for Queensland. And our lock, 50 Cent.
Oh, wow.
50 Cent playing lock.
All right, we're coming straight back at you. Second row, please, sir.
Hugh Jackman.
Oh, yeah!
Hugh Jackman off.
Wolverine!
All right, we have a blue jumper in here.
Oh, then we got to pick our 13 as well. I'm going to go outside, find some Queenslanders. All right, here's one out here, sir. A number 13 for Queensland, please. And we have
Dave Bautista.
Dave Bautista.
The Bautista.
Nah, you get drug tested in this sport, mate. That's not flying. Oh, doubling up on the Hugh Jackman too.
Double Hugh Jackman.
So for halfback in New South Wales, we got the, I don't know if you can call him the great man. It's Mark Zuckerberg. Running the cutter for the boys in blue. Questionable stuff.
All right, Cam George. The Queensland half.
Andrew McFadden.
El Capitan.
Oh, put a line through them. They're done.
I can't pick him. He's New South Wales.
He's already been named. We'll burn him off.
Elon Musk.
It's Elon Musk. Battle of the brains in the halves.
All right, we're having some troubles picking out one here and out in the terrace. But our centres for New South Wales, we have Aragon from the Lord of the Rings.
What? Don't mind it.
That's big. That's a big signing.
Bit
That's
unorthodox.
Huge signing, that one.
Is Wally Lewis still the king if you've got Aragon? All right, Queensland centre. From our mate, Mr. Logan Swan.
Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt! Shut the gate!
And the centres, I'd have him out on the wing person. But look, for New South Wales on the wing, we got Odell Beckham Jr., which is a hell of a pick if you ask me.
Great pick.
Hands all day. It's hands all day.
It's actually quite close.
All right, so we got for our winger,
Zac Efron.
Zac Efron. Wow. Might be struggling for pace.
If you've seen High School Musical, he is handy. Once he got his head in the game and they were all in it together, they were unstoppable.
He's not bringing it out the corner, is he?
Oh my days.
So at the back, running it for New South Wales, the $1 million signing. Actually, in this case, $1 billion signing. It's Kylie Jenner.
Tell you what, there's a few blokes in the team she's probably already met before as well, so that'll help with establishing chemistry.
Hey, it's all about chemistry in the blue jumper, mate.
All right, Queensland fullback to finish it off.
Ned Brockman.
Oh, yes, Ned Brockman, the running man.
A proud New South Welshman sticking to the theme of poaching fullbacks from New South Wales to play for Queensland. Good stuff.
Mate, what's his run meters going to be for that one?
Right, we thought Chance was impressive. Wait till you get Ned there, fired up on chocolate milk. Look out.
347 metres. Try 347 kilometres for Ned Brockman there. So, I mean, who make some noise if you think New South Wales is winning this matchup?
Surely.
That is one of the most pathetic round of ovations I've ever heard in my life. How about the men in maroon, Queensland?
Oh, yeah, let's go.
I think it's Kylie Jenner, fellas. I think it's Kylie Jenner that's letting it.
I think it was
down
the
there.
Zac Efron factor. As soon as Zac got pulled out the cup, I knew we were done.
Well,
Look, I think any team that's got Mark Zuckerberg in the halves is probably not going to win a game of football. Even with his weird jiu-jitsu shit that he does now, I think I'm wearing blue, but I think Queensland's winning that one. But you never know. Kylie Jenner, the $1 billion signing, quality at the back.
Well, I know Kanye West was meant to, he was in the mix. I think he got a HIA, maybe he's not there this year, concussion maybe. But I'll tell you what, we are bombing the shit out of Kylie Jenner.
Pardon me?
Well, you got Andrew McFadden putting bombs up on Kylie Jenner.
That's two names I never thought I'd hear back to back in the same sentence.
Ah, well, gents, moving on to the real game now. We've got
back to the matchups.
We've got another matchup I want to highlight here, and Bull, this one might be you can be shining a bit of light on. It's the back rowers. So we've got Kurt Capewell and Cotter for the Queenslanders up against Crichton and Martin for the boys in blue. So take us through this matchup, Bull. Who do you think has got the upper hand here out on the edge?
Oh, mate, to be honest, I think Capewell and Cotter are going to shit all over them. Yeah, actually, I thought Kurt was very unlucky not to be picked in the first game. Yeah, I was going to ask him what he did to Billy, but yeah, no, he's had a great year. So awesome to see him in there and you know, get an opportunity that I think he really deserves.
And Shirley, I know you probably feel the complete opposite.
No, I love Kurt Capewell, and I think he certainly deserved it. Always leads our kick chase, his effort areas are massive, shoots up, brings the line speed, and I think we can credit a lot of that defensive effort and grit we've seen this year to Cape. So, like Bull, I was surprised to not see him in game one. I will ask, were you surprised to see Jeremiah Nanai benched after such a strong performance in game one? I thought he was one of Queensland's best.
Yeah, I think he was good, mate. What I think Billy's big on is those little 1%er plays, the efforts off the ball. You know, some of the things you might not see on TV that might have played into it a little bit, maybe. But yeah, you're right. I thought he was good in game one as well.
I think I was going to ask a question. If you had 1% on your battery and your car's just broken down on the motorway, are you calling Kurt Capewell and Cotter, or you texting Crichton and Martin to come get you?
Geez, never thought I'd have to think about that one. I'll probably go Capes just because it would be a New Zealand number and it would cost me less. And I trust him more. He's reliable. Angus, I don't know if Liam Martin knows what planet he's on. He's that much of a nutcase, but you love that in a footballer. And Angus Crichton runs a barber shop, probably got a bit on, so I'll go with Kurt and Cotter. I reckon Cotter would just push the car himself.
I think with the mullet, you just know he knows how to fix a car. Pop the bonnet, he'll sort it out straight away, I think. Having a look at the next match up the bench. This is a big one.
Yeah, look, I think there's a lot of hair on that Queensland side. Paddy Carrigan, my missus, has a massive crush on. I wish him nothing but the worst. Kurt Mann making his debut as well for Queensland. That's I'd say a very well-deserved call-up. And look, that's a very Auckland-looking bench there. You've got Spencer Leniu, who's one of our own. Connor Watson adds a lot of impact off the bench as well for the boys in blue. But yeah, obviously with Barney leaving out, that's left a space as well. Is it Stefano who's come on the bench for New South Wales? So. Look, a bit of change from game one, but look, I do like the look of this Blues bench. Plenty of impact, plenty of big fellas.
Well, I think it speaks to the quality when you got someone like Hudson Young. The form that he's been in this year, and he's not even in the starting team, is pretty crazy.
Oh, for Paddy Carrigan, we're so used to seeing him start and be one of the best players in the middle of the paddock for the full 80 minutes. Do you think he will come on after the 20-minute mark that first stint and play the rest of the game? Is that how you think Billy will use him? Because I was so surprised to see him on the bench, not started.
Yeah, me too. I mean, you know, he's a big minute player and big, you know, quality minutes as well. So that is a surprise. I would not be surprised to see him maybe slip in and start. I don't know, like Billy might do that, but yeah, mate. I mean, you'd probably do that with him. You know, as I said, you know, big quality minutes, so you want him out there for a lot of the game. So I would imagine if he is on the bench, it wouldn't be too long till he's injected.
Well, let me ask you this one, mate. If you had to pick 4 people to build your house, which team you taking?
Well, I actually know Connor Watson, mate, and he's never done a hard day's work in his life, so.
Jeez, he's good looking though.
Yeah, no, he used to do all right with the opposite sex, and the same sex as well. But yeah, I'll Queensland every day of the week, mate. Kurt Mann, he's another bushy. He's from northwest Queensland. Lindsay Collins has got a head only mothers could love. And then, Paddy Carrigan, he's bloody not bad looking. And, Jeremiah will get the job done, so, yeah.
Lindsay Collins is dead set that guy off Space Jam, one of the Monstars, eh? The big one that
Frankenstein.
turns blue. Look at him.
Wait till he smiles.
I was going to say, if they're going to build a house, I know some of my island brothers, they like to take long smokos as well. So it might be an extended period on that New South Wales lineup.
So, and actually speaking of Jello, look, Spencer Leniu is Auckland born, I believe, and there's a funny song which we'll come back to later on, but we're going to see the original version now. It's called That's in Queensland, and it's basically an ode to all of the state of origin players who are not quite in the state of origin.
Could somebody please help me? I'm a little bit confused. When selectors choose for Queensland, could you tell me what map they used? Where you're born and where you come from, surely that's your origin. So could somebody please tell me what state these towns are in? Where is Sydney? That's in Queensland. Silver Fiji? That's in Queensland. Where is Bowraville? That's in Queensland. Queensland's everywhere. State of origin, we're told, is all about state pride and the famous Queensland spirit, but we've been taken for a ride. How can they claim that spirit when all through history Queensland selected players from the wrong side of the Tweed? Where is Hornsby? That's in Queensland. Where is Minto? That's in Queensland. Where is Tenterfield? That's in Queensland. Queensland's everywhere. So it seems that origin is not quite what we thought, and finally now New South Wales has got in on the rot. James Tarmo's given up fish and chips, jandals and chili buns, like so many Kiwis before him, to play state of origin. Where is Auckland? That's in Queensland.
Tonight it
Where
is.
is Christchurch? That's in Queensland. Where is Palmerston North? That's in New South Wales. Queensland's everywhere. Where is Sydney? That's in Queensland. Where is Fiji? That's in Queensland. Papua New Guinea? That's in Queensland. Queensland's everywhere. Queensland's everywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big Our Year thank you to the great Bull, Jacob Lillyman and Ben Searle from Surly Talk Sport. Thank you, gentlemen.
Up the wires.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that about does us for our year, our State of Origin Game 2 preview. We want to thank our sponsors, Spates, our great mates at Spates, who have sponsored the show, the TAB, the Mighty One New Zealand Warriors, Skopic and Shaw, and kidding me out tonight, our Players Sports as well. I spilt some chippies on it, so I'm not going to be able to take it back. But hey, that's rugby league. But look, Anthony Gelling, what a day, what an occasion, and thanks for being here, brother.
Thanks, mate. It's always special. Look, before we go, I want to give you a prediction. Not who's going to win, because I know you'll say some rubbish like New South Wales.
New Zealand.
I want to know your prediction. What happens at kick-off
Time. Do they kick to Spencer Leniu? What happens?
I would like to think after the carry-on last time, calling them, I'm not going to say that because sponsors are here. But look, I would say Queensland, they want to step up. They have a lot to answer for last game. If I'm them and I see Spencer on the field, I'm kicking it straight to that man.
Well, we got to wait and see. Look, we're due for a big game. It's just half an hour till kick-off, but we're also due for a song, Mitch.
So I've been avoiding playing a song for about a month. I've been busy, and I keep telling Shano and Jello that I'm not going to do it. But tonight, I'm going to do my own spin on that song you just heard, and it's called Queensland's Having a Mare. So, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for yourselves one time. Make some noise for Jacob Lillyman, Ben Searle, and look, it's our year, baby. It's our year.
It's always our year.
Check, check. All right, this one's called Queensland's Having a Mare. Are you a racist? Probably from Queensland, not gonna make it. Probably from Queensland, have you dropped your halfback? Probably Queensland. Queensland's having a mare. Who'll do the haka? Probably Queensland. Gisborne front rower. Probably Queensland. Who's gonna win the series? Probably New South Wales. Queensland's having a mare. Stuck in your own half. Probably Queensland. No clue about Payne Haas. Probably Queensland. Surly won't shut up about New South Wales. Queensland's having a mare. One more time. Queensland's having a mare. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your State of Origin football. Thanks to Spades, thanks to TAB, the mighty New Zealand Warriors. We are our year, and it is our year. Have yourselves a great State of Origin. Go the fucking Warriors.